Every football nation has one match that still hurts. Not because of the scoreline alone, because of the future it took away. Brazil, Germany, 2014. Brazil weren't hosting another World Cup. They were trying to bury 1950. 64 years earlier, they had lost the deciding match at home to Uruguay, and the wound never healed. 2014 was the chance to make amends, the home tournament that would rewrite the ending. Neymar was out injured, carried off against Colombia in the quarter-final with a broken vertebra. Thiago Silva was suspended. Brazil believed anyway. Then Germany scored. Then they scored again. 5 goals inside 29 minutes. Somewhere in that half, the match stopped being football and became a nation watching itself come apart, in its own stadium, live. 7-1. Brazil spent decades running from one home disaster and built themselves a second. 1950 was the ghost they wanted to bury. 2014 gave it company. Portugal, Greece, Euro 2004 final. Portugal had built the perfect ending, a home tournament, Figo's generation at its peak, a teenage Cristiano Ronaldo just arriving, and a final in Lisbon to finish the story. There was only one problem, and Portugal already knew its name. Greece had beaten them in the opening match of the tournament. Portugal fought all the way back through the bracket to earn a second meeting, a chance to correct it on the biggest night. Then Greece beat them again. 1-0. Charisteas. The same opponent, the same result, the worst possible time. This wasn't a giant killing. A giant killing happens once. This was the same nightmare twice, with the trophy on the table. Portugal built the stage, wrote themselves the perfect ending, and Greece walked on and tore up the script. Norway, Scotland, 2023. Norway had the best striker on the planet and one of the best playmakers in Europe, in their prime, at the same time, and for years, nowhere to show them off. No World Cup since 1998. No tournament of any kind since Euro 2000. A quarter of a century in which generation after generation of Norwegian players was born, played, and retired without a single finals to show for it. Haaland and Ødegaard were supposed to end that. In Oslo, in 2023, one qualifier told the whole story. Haaland scored, put Norway ahead against Scotland, and was substituted with the win in sight. Then, in 2 minutes, Scotland scored twice, and Norway, needing the points, lost at home. They finished behind Scotland and missed Euro 2024. The two best Norwegian footballers in a generation, and still no stage. They finally reached the World Cup in 2026, 28 years after the last one. It doesn't erase Oslo, or the years the best team they ever had spent watching tournaments from home. But of every nation on this list, Norway are, up to this point, one of few who got to the other side of it. Argentina, Germany, 2014 final. This was the final that could have ended the Messi question 8 years early, whether the greatest player alive could actually win a World Cup. Messi had carried Argentina to a World Cup final without even playing his most spectacular football. Proof, if anyone needed it, that he could drag his nation all the way. And Argentina had chances to win it. Higuaín clean through, missed. Palacio one-on-one, missed. Messi, a step from goal, dragged it wide. Then Mario Götze, in extra time, took the ball down on his chest and volleyed past Romero. 1-0. Argentina lost. And the wound wasn't only the final. It was the 8 years of Messi never did it for Argentina that the final made possible. It never destroyed his legacy. It just delayed the ending by the better part of a decade. Ghana, Uruguay, 2010. Ghana were seconds from history, and not only their own. No African nation had ever reached a World Cup semi-final, and a whole continent was watching one team carry a milestone nobody had touched. Last minute of extra time, the winning goal already goal-bound, until a hand reached up off the line and stopped it. Suarez was sent off. Ghana had the penalty. The semi-final was one kick away. Guyane struck the bar. Uruguay won the shootout. And the first African World Cup semi-final, the thing Ghana had in their hands, would wait 12 more years, until Morocco finally reached it in 2022. England, Italy, Euro 2020 final. England don't have one wound. They have a collection. Start in 1986, a World Cup quarter-final. Maradona punched the ball past Peter Shilton and the referee allowed it. The hand of God. And then, 4 minutes later, ran through half the England team for what was voted the goal of the century. Cheated and outplayed inside 4 minutes, and out of the World Cup. Then 1998, and Beckham's red card. Down to 10 men, beaten by Argentina on penalties. A lineage of near misses and shootout deaths. But ask which one still hurts most, and the honest answer is the newest. Euro 2020, played a year late. Wembley, England's first major final in 55 years, since 1966. The only trophy they had ever won. Luke Shaw scored after 2 minutes, the fastest goal in the history of a European final. For a moment, a whole country believed the wait was over. Then England stopped. They dropped deeper. They defended a 1-goal lead for an hour as if terrified of their own advantage. Italy grew into the game and equalized. Penalties. Rashford hit the post. Sancho's saved. Saka's saved. England fans didn't spend that night wondering why penalties are cruel. They spent it wondering why, with the lead, at home, in a final, they stopped trying to win. Mexico, Netherlands, 2014. Mexico had a specific curse. Round of 16 and out. Tournament after tournament, they reached the knockouts and died in the first round of them. Against the Netherlands, that was finally ending. They led. They were minutes from the quarter-finals, the barrier they had never crossed. Then Sneijder equalized. Then, in stoppage time, the penalty. Robben went down. No era penal. That wasn't a penalty became the phrase Mexico still repeats. But the phrase hides the real wound, which was the timing. For 80 minutes, the curse looked lifted. Then it came back, later and harder than ever before. Mexico was shown the door to the quarter-finals and had it shut in the final seconds. United States, Trinidad and Tobago, 2017. Ask an American which World Cup night hurt most, and some will say Ghana. 2010, the round of 16, the most watched soccer match in the country's history. Donovan and Dempsey clawing back to level, then Asamoah Gyan killing it in the first minute of extra time. That one stung because they were there, on the big stage, and lost it. But the deeper wound is the one where they never got to the big stage at all. The United States didn't even need to win. They needed a draw. 1 point away to Trinidad and Tobago in a half-empty stadium in the town of Couva, against a team with 3 points from 9 games, already going nowhere, and the USA would have been going to their 8th straight World Cup. Then Omar Gonzalez turned a cross into his own net. Then Alvin Jones scored from 30 yards, a shot he will never hit again. 2-0. Pulisic pulled one back, 19 years old and carrying the whole team, but nothing else would go in. And everywhere else the impossible happened at once. Honduras beat Mexico, Panama beat Costa Rica. Every result the USA needed went the wrong way. They finished 5th in the final round of qualifying. For the first time since 1986, the United States would miss a World Cup. Ghana took a night. Couva took the whole tournament. Netherlands, Spain, 2010, final. The Netherlands had a label they could not shake. The best team never to win. 1974, a final, lost. 1978, a final, lost. 2010 was the 3rd attempt to bury it, and Robben got the chance to do exactly that. Clear, running through, the tournament in front of him. Casillas got a toe to it. The game turned ugly, then desperate, then went to extra time. And in the 116th minute, Iniesta scored, and Spain were world champions for the first time. The Netherlands lost their third final. They confirmed the cruelest description in the sport. Good enough to reach the end every time, and never quite good enough to finish it. 16 years later, they proved it once more, knocked out of the 2026 World Cup on penalties by Morocco. The country that finally reached the semi-final, Ghana couldn't. Belgium, Wales, Euro 2016. For years, Belgium had been the team about to explode and win it all. Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku, Courtois. A golden generation ranked among the best sides in the world, waiting for the tournament that would prove it. Against Wales, the path opened. Belgium scored first. Everything looked exactly as expected. Then Wales answered. Then Hal Robson-Kanu, a forward without a club at the time, turned the entire Belgian defence inside out with a single spin and finished. Wales won 3-1. The golden generation didn't die that night. But that was the night people first understood this gold could crack. And, in the years that followed, that it actually would. Germany, South Korea, 2018. Germany don't collapse early. That was the whole point of Germany. Defending champions, a machine that always found the result it needed. And here they needed just one, against South Korea, to survive the group. So they pushed everyone forward. And in stoppage time, South Korea scored. Then Neuer, their goalkeeper, was caught upfield chasing an equaliser that had already stopped mattering. And South Korea scored into the empty net. 2-0. Germany finished bottom of the group and flew home. It wasn't only an elimination. It was the first hard evidence that the machine wasn't that solid anymore. That the certainty at the centre of German football, the belief that Germany always finds a way, was gone. And it never came back. Then 2026, and the cruelest twist of all. Knocked out by Paraguay, a team ranked 30 places below them, in the round of 32. Germany's first penalty shootout defeat in World Cup history. The country that turned shootouts into a national science, beaten at the one thing it never lost. 2018 was the crack. Paraguay was the proof it would never close. France, Argentina, 2022 final. The worst defeats are the ones where you think you've escaped. For 80 minutes, France were finished. Argentina controlled everything. And Messi's tournament was ending exactly the way the story demanded. Then Mbappé scored. 90 seconds later, he scored again. France came back from nowhere to level a final they had no business being level in. Extra time. Messi scored again. Mbappé equalised again. A hat-trick in a World Cup final, the first in over half a century. And at the very end, Kolo Muani, clean through, one touch from winning the World Cup. Martinez saved it with his leg. Penalties. France lost. This wasn't a team outplayed and beaten. This was a team that died, clawed all the way back, stood one save from the trophy and still lost. Not humiliation, something worse. Hope given back, then taken again. Some matches end at full time. These ones never did.